this way before. Travel through the open door. Circumstances navigated the path, and life happened all so fast. Though it got lonely, sometimes you see, I know we couldn't make it. Even when I'm off beat, I still land on my feet, and nothing can shake me, cause I know life took a hold on. Never. This is where I am destined to be. I'm not ready to give up. No. I believe in the miracle of life. Life's a play for no rehearsal. No ticket, no comfort, no road. Things that play can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. It's all in what you do. Some things you gotta do. Fight for millions. Take a second, see the blessing in it. With much expected, much is given. One to make the living, now I'm giving back to children. Never let the power come first before your happiness. Yes, you can be the best if you go the distance. Mix a little sweat with your persistence. You know that the best things are never instant. Just shine, let us make it brilliant. Get up, open up your eyes now. It's the moment of truth. No backing down. We're bringing it to life. Oh, for the children, it's a given. You gotta give it, be a blessing.
This my personal statement. Run the game like I'm aces. Learn to develop patience, determined to be the greatest. Yeah, bobbing and weaving, they changing up like the seasons. Indigenous to the grind, so I do it for all my people. Jabbing the competition, back up against the ropes. You fighting for recognition. I'm fighting just to promote equality where we lack it. While cancer slowing our road, I'm confident we'll make it. We focus on common goals. Yeah.
Give back, give love, giving something away. Never give up, stand tall to fight another day. 2 toes, 2 feet, I stand on the ground. I'm going back soon and fight this final round. Life's a play for no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Can't get play, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. It's all in what you do.
Things you gotta do. Hey, pile on in. What's up, DB? What's up? Ooh, I'm just gonna call you Good Times. What's up, Brandon? What's up, TB? Mr. Pazor. What's up, Xavier? Big homie. What's up, Xavier? Reggie O, what it do? David Double D, what's up? I like a 34 before my double D's. You know what I mean? What's up, big homie? What's up, OGE? Man, TB, Mark Reed, we in here, man. Hey, man, he said that Kid Cudi album is fire. Yeah, we gonna get in hip hop. Michael Eric Dyson loves hip hop, man. So that's gonna be fun, man. We gonna rock out, man. And yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun show. So I appreciate y'all coming. I know we got an early show. We'll be back tonight. You know, I mean, we'll definitely be back tonight, and yeah, man, we'll do that. And we in here early, and it's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be a fun show, and I'm excited to pick Eric Dyson's brain, man, and Michael Eric Dyson's brain, man. So it's gonna be cool. I know we've been listening to him for a long time, and it's good that he made his way to the barbershop. So I'm in gratitude. You know, he on the East Coast. I think he in DC. I'm not sure if he's in DC, but I know he's on the East Coast. But it's gonna be fun, man. We're gonna rock out, man. And yeah, I haven't. That's been a big topic right now, the pardons, but I haven't looked into it. I hadn't looked into the pardons, but I saw the clips, but I haven't sat down and sunk my teeth into it. But I probably will between now and the start of the show at 9:00 tonight. So it should be fun. So yeah, man. How many people has he pardoned? Yeah, I think I did. What was it about, TB? I know I saw it, but I'm drawing a blank on it. He's pardoning all his homies, huh? He's pardoning all his homies, right? I saw I was working out, but I saw a piece of Trill Boxing Talk this morning, and they were talking about it. I saw the title of their show. Will they pardon Lil Wayne? I did see that. Hey, if Lil Wayne gets pardoned, I guess it was well worth it, right? He used his ace in the hole or his $200 when he passed go. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it's pardon Justin. How many did he pardon? How many? He's gonna pardon all of his homies. You know what I mean? I'm waiting on someone to pardon the Black Panthers. I'm waiting on some. I mean, we got a few more years left, man. Hopefully they can hold on. You know what I mean? I actually thought Barack was gonna pardon them in his second term. I really did, you know, but it didn't happen. Actually, I was having a lot of conversations at that time, and they thought that he was going to pardon a lot of the Black Panthers, but he didn't do it. I remember, you guys remember Muhammad? He was on the show and he spoke about it, but I'm not going to speak for him. But he was under the impression that, I know you got a black president. 15 pardons yesterday. Yeah, he grinding. He got till January 20th. Y'all better put y'all bid in. Shit. Shit. Y'all better you got about $2 million. You can get him out. You know what I mean? Make a $2 million donation. He might take care of you. You know what I mean? Donald Trump is about making that deal. You know what I mean? And that goes to show you that quite possibly, shit. Imagine if Ice Cube had wrote that contract for Black America last year. You know, quite possibly how far we could have gotten with that deal. You know, obviously we hear Joe Biden and his rhetoric coming out now, and it's not even January 20th yet, and he's basically saying, wait, you know, wait, y'all need to go work with the Latinos. You know, so man, we in a can't win situation, man. We just got to stand up on our own at this point. You know what I mean? So that's life, man. That's life in America. You know, someone got to be the bottom class. Someone got to be the lower class. And Michael Eric Dyson got a great book that I just glanced over. Haven't sunk my teeth into it yet, but it's I'm definitely excited to sink my teeth into it, and it's gonna be fun. So it's gonna be fun. So Michael Eric Dyson, long time coming. If you guys had known, but it's a book that just came out, and I got a lot of books to catch up on. I'm still reading The Dead Are Rising, The Life of Malcolm X, so I'm still into that. I'm gonna have to cross over because I'm doing so many shows. I'm gonna have to cross over into audiobooks, especially with two kids running around the house. I'm gonna have to cross over to audiobooks. I like the sound of books, and you know what I mean, stuff like that. So I'm gonna have to cross over to audiobooks. I think I'm gonna have to, so I can keep up. You know, because it's I always want to read the books before the guest comes on. You know, so but yeah, so I think I'm gonna cross over to audiobooks. It gives me some flexibility too, because I can put it on the Bluetooth. You know what I mean? I've done audiobooks in the past, but not like as a primary source for reading. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited. And we only have them for an hour. So if you guys want to super chat your questions in, I think that'll be easiest. You know what I mean? Because y'all gonna come with the narrative, and we ain't got time, man. But I definitely want y'all questions answered. You know what I mean? What's up, Deacon 305 in here? What's up, man? Deacon 305. I'm just gonna say this. Pray now that the guests don't cancel for next week. I got a special guest for you next week. All right, Deacon 305. PPD hooked you up, Deacon 305, okay? Pray that nothing happens to the guests. All right? You're gonna be happy. All right. You're going to be like, oh, Fred, you did it again, man. You did it again, man. Hey, you know how you do that Martin dance? Hey, you did it again. Ha, ha, ha. From the Himalaya. Oh, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I read Powernomics. Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's one of the first 10 books I'm going to have Lincoln read. Powernomics. The first book he's going to read, the autobiography of Malcolm X, which I'm going to read that with him at some point. I don't know. I bought it for him for Christmas. Well, not really Christmas, but I bought it for him. Yeah, the first week of December. So interacting live, but I think my schedule will be changed. Okay. OGE, yeah, we miss you at night. I know it's tough for some people. I know, especially the East Coast family. I know it's challenging. That's why we're here 4:00, because Mr. Dyson works on the works and lives on the East Coast, so we had to come in a little bit earlier. So we can always make accommodations for the guests. So if you guys got guests that you guys want on, we'll aggressively pursue them. And if we gotta adjust our schedule, we will. And we got a great guest. Is that? Oh, January 7th. Oh, man, we got a great. Is it January 6th? January 7th? One of them days, dog. I mean, the hits just keep coming, man. The hits just keep coming, man. Something about the energy in the barbershop, man. Something about the energy. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be fun. So yeah. I appreciate y'all. So he'll be in any moment now. And I've been watching his interviews all day. You know what I mean? And hence the title of this book is the title of this the title of this interview. Long time coming, man. It's gonna be great to pick his brain. You know what I mean? A pastor and a professor. Interesting combination. And is a connoisseur of hip hop. That's an interesting mix, you know. Like, do he I wonder, do he get the clean versions of hip hop? You know what I mean? Or do you listen to it in his natural state? He's been a pastor, ordained minister since he was 19. I didn't know that till I was doing my research on this. Till I was doing my research. I didn't know it was 19. He was in college and was an ordained minister. That's pretty intense. How do you survive college being an ordained minister? Sheesh. Are you a student Monday through Saturday and an ordained minister on Sunday? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's oh man, it's interesting. And he's well versed on Malcolm X too. He's well versed on Malcolm X. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard him talk about that and probably didn't even know you was reading excerpts from his book. But yeah, he's well versed on that too. So yeah, man. So we just gonna rock out and have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Deacon 305. Keep on praying, Deacon. Keep on praying. Because I know you blessed and highly favored. Oh man. I can't let the cat out the bag. I'm not telling, because if I say who it is, it's gonna ripple through America so fast. That's why I haven't even put it up. It's gonna go through so fast that it may not happen. So just keep your fingers crossed, and we'll do it like that. You know what I mean? So it should be pretty good. And tomorrow, I think we may have. I'm not sure because I haven't got confirmation, but Michael Williams and his son, senior and junior, may come in tomorrow with Roy Jones. I think Roy Jones and Michael Williams Jr. and senior may be coming. I don't know. I haven't heard back from them, but we'll see. I told them Thursday would be the best day to come in. So, but tonight is just going to be us. So we can talk shit and swallow spit tonight, 9:00 Pacific Standard Time. You know what I mean? And make it do what it do. So that's where we're at with that. And yeah, man. Hey, so I worked out today to Status Symbol 3 and Hustle and Motivate. I've been stuck on Hustle and Motivate. I know, round about the end of the year, do many of y'all go into reflection mode, or do you look forward? I think I spent a lot of time in December in reflection. You know, I was just thinking about what we've done with this channel just since April. You know, it's been amazing. Like, we've gotten some A1 interviews and guests, and this is home for a lot of us at 9:00 Pacific Standard Time. So it's been a fun ride, man. It's been a real fun ride. And what's up, Damala? What's up, Jersey? You know, and you never reflect. Some people don't, because they some people believe they turn into a pillar of salt, right? And that what Sarah did. She turned into a pillar of salt. So people more forward thinking. And that's why I asked the question, because I can respect that. Yeah, definitely. Oh, really? You had it on today? Oh man, we were workout brothers today. Yeah, I just want to listen to those 2 songs today. You know what I mean? That's one of the good things of having Tidal, man. You can just make playlists like in less than a minute. You probably can do it on Apple too, but you know what I mean? It's yeah, so it's good. Nah, you good. You good. The champ is in the building.
I'm glad you're speaking out loud.
Hey, we on the West Coast, baby. I gotta play this. We on the West Coast, baby. We on the West Coast. I don't know if you heard it. Did you hear that?
I didn't hear it.
Oh, let me play it one more time.
It's dedication.
Wow.
Celebration.
Hey, so
Yeah, no doubt, my man.
how you doing, man?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Oh, I'm super. So I've been doing a lot of research on you, and I just got a question before we start.
Mhm.
Patrick Ewing or Allen Iverson?
Say again?
Patrick Ewing or Allen Iverson?
Man, they're both great, man. But you know, and I work with Coach now. At Georgetown doing stuff before I left to go to Vanderbilt. But AI is my heart, man. I paid good money to be up on the floor seats to watch that dude for 3 years, man.
Wow.
The toughest toughest small man maybe ever, brother. Him and Isaiah. I tell you, Zeke, it's hard to not fool with AI. That's my guy, man.
Yeah, and a quick transition question. We're gonna go all over the place. Michael Jordan's NBA versus LeBron James NBA.
I mean, you know, and let me clarify again. Patrick Ewing is my man. So is AI. So I can't choose.
PE 33. Yeah.
Michael Jordan's or Patrick Ewing's. I mean,
no, Michael Jordan's or LeBron James NBA.
That's tough because, see, you know, back in the day, and I'm from Detroit.
Yeah.
So they were giving the Chicago Bulls the blues, man.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan was trying to come through that middle, and they were trying to knock him down.
Mm-hmm. That's
so it was a tougher look. It was a tougher league then in terms of the rules.
Yes.
But I think LeBron could have hung with him, you know, because he's so big, he's so strong that in any generation, LeBron would have been a definite thing. To see them play together would have been a hell of a thing.
Oh, who you kid? LeBron is one of the few that can play in any era. You know, he's walking triple-double in any era.
Man, you know? he could do it, brother. He could do it. He could adapt. And he's the ultimate team player. So he's always going to defer to the broader, you know, good of his team versus his own kind of individual thing. Whereas Jordan is a gunslinger, like Kobe, man. Yeah. You know, I'm going to go out. What did Kobe say? He said, you ain't going to never catch me going 0 for 9, because his point was, I'm not stopping at 9. I'm stopping at 30, man. I'm going to go 0 for 30. You would not go, because he said 0 for 9 means you didn't try hard enough.
Wow. Absolutely right.
Yeah. You got to pile it on. So both of those cats, man. I mean, Jordan as an individual, Kobe as an individual, LeBron as a team player. I mean, it just doesn't get better than that.
It absolutely doesn't. And speaking of it, don't get better than that. You got another one. A long time coming. I haven't read it yet. And I was telling people I got to transition to audiobooks. Right. I'm so behind in reading books. I'm still reading. I know you probably started reading The Dead. Have you read The Dead Are Rising? the life of Malcolm X.
With Les Payne, again, with his daughter. His daughter finished it up. Yeah. I mean, but I want to determine what new insight we gained from that book, as opposed to my man, Manning Marable, who did the definitive work, on Malcolm right before he died, man.
Right.
In fact, the book came out, a day or two after he died, which was tragic. But, that book, a Reinventing a Life on Malcolm X by Manning Marable, is a massive tome. So I want to dig into this one to find out what's up with that and what new stuff we learned.
Yeah, it's a bunch of new stuff. I'm more than halfway through it, and it's heavy reading. And I saw your book. I saw your interview with Charlemagne, and Charlemagne said that this was heavy reading. So
in terms of the heart, but not in, hopefully the words are gonna sing on the page, and you'll be able to check it out. Last time that I checked. That's what it was.
I had 5 chains on my neck. You know what I'm saying? Presidency, Donald Trump, and where are we at in terms of America versus Joe Biden? Like, where are we? We sang and danced for Joe Biden. We, in my humble opinion, I think we labeled Donald Trump as the antithesis of like racist white America. Where are we in terms of government, and can we trust Joe Biden?
Oh yeah, if we dealt with 4 years of Donald Trump, Joe Biden is a major figure. I mean, I happen to know the president-elect. He's an extremely decent human being. He's a caring, compassionate, empathetic man. Plus, I think his politics are a great improvement over the neo-fascist embrace of neo-Nazism. A man who could never make a moral distinction between those who fought against fascism and those who embraced it. So Donald Trump is only creating wedges between groups, creating chasms of bigotry and prejudice between groups, whereas, Joe Biden is trying to bring them together. So there's no question that there's an improvement with Joe Biden. Now, do we have to push him? Of course. Jesus ain't on the ticket. Buddha didn't run. Allah ain't the Secretary of Defense, right? These are human beings.
Sure.
So that means you got to treat them like human beings. But at least with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, you can push them. You can say, I disagree with that. What decision you made. Like, take, for instance, your governor, sent you out in Cali.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom chose Alex Padilla, bless him, to take Kamala Harris's place. Well, we want Latinx people in. But we got about 7, 8, 9 Latinx people in Congress, and the Senate. We ain't got no black woman. This is where white allyship has failed us. Gavin Newsom, what are you thinking, homie? I know that's your man. I'm not mad at that. And I want Latinx people to be represented, but you didn't choose a woman or a woman of color. And you surely didn't choose a black woman. Ain't no black woman in the Senate right now. So ain't nothing really Gavin Newsom can say to justify and legitimate that as a white liberal, the decision he made to replace a woman. The voters of that state elected a black woman. You could have carried through, bruh. You could have put another sister in there, and that would have still been the only black woman we have represented. We got men, and we got men of color. And what we don't have, and in the Senate, we have Latinx, both women and men. So you had a chance to put the only sister in to replace the only sister we had, and you fell through. So we gotta be critical. We gotta be vocal of that criticism and say, you depend upon black women to save your butt in the election Democratic Party, but you can't reward them when it comes time to distribute the goodies and to give out the duly earned, kind of benefits and advantages to which they should be heir.
How do we push them? Because we saw Joe Biden go viral with the clips. You mentioned Gavin Newsom. Some may say Joe Biden's tone was a little bit too harsh. He said we need to form allies with Latinos. How do we push them as a whole, as a collective?
You raise your voice. Voting is one way. Yeah. And the fact that, and we say, look, Joe Biden at least said, hey, black people, you voted for me. So
Yeah.
And you had my back, and now I got yours. Hey, the man put himself there in public. He put himself on Front Street and said, hold me accountable. I ain't heard Obama do that. Obama didn't go, hey, black people, you voted for me. You had my back. Now I got yours. He wanted black people to have his back. I don't know how much he had black people's back. So, and it was harder to push him than a white guy. Why? Because the black man thinks I'm black. I'm doing it. I'm the embodiment of your ideal. No, bruh. You still got to hold yourself accountable too. Just because you black don't mean you do black. And blackness is bigger and broader than your particular interpretation of what it may mean. So, we got to speak up. We got to voice our disgruntlement. We got to write op-eds. We got to say to Gavin Newsom, we got to have political figures say to him, look, that was a wrong move, bruh. And we don't appreciate that. That is not acceptable. That's not something that should be seen as a non-inflammatory, non-controversial move. And this is not about black versus Latinx. Again, we got Cory Booker and Tim Scott. If I'm missing another senator, let me know. We got 9 Latinx senators in the United States Senate. We ain't got no black woman. We have to talk about that. We have to raise our voices about that. We got to take the social media. We got to have local political organizations, speak up about that. We have to voice our disgruntlement in every public arena we can to put a little pressure on my man to say that's not how one should behave. And that's not acceptable in this day and age when black women are bailing out the Democratic Party yet again.
What grade would you give President Obama? And in the words of Charlemagne, what have you done for black people?
Well, I wrote a whole book on it.
Yeah.
So y'all can check out the book. No doubt about that, called The Black Presidency, Barack Obama and the Politics of Race in America. Look, Obama was in a tough position. Back against the wall, white folks, scoping him out. Anything he does, or anything he did, they were going to be checking him out like, bro, what are you doing? Are you trying to hook black people up? Are you trying to give them a benefit of the, of your presidency and so on? So it was tough. And then when he spoke up about race in the first, couple months of his administration with the Skip Gates situation, where Gates had returned home from China, trying to jimmy his door because it wouldn't work. He got the driver to help him. A passerby saw him trying to get in, called the cops. The cops came, discovered it was, Gates was in his own home, but still arrested him when he came outside, on the public space, trying to set him up, trying to bait him. And Obama said that police acted stupidly. How dare a black man weigh in on the intelligence of a white man? We weren't having that. Even if the black man was the president of the United States of America and the white man was just a sergeant and a cop at a local department. Wow. How dare you speak against the intelligence of a white man? So Obama was in a tough position. Plus, it was exacerbated by his tendency to go off on us in public, saying critical stuff. Now, I'm not saying he should have been uncritical, but I'm saying if you're going to be critical of black people, then be critical of white people too. In other words, either be critical of everybody or don't be critical of nobody. Because if you can't be critical of white folk, but you say, I can be critical of black people, those are my people. Well, if those are your people, then you also have an extra obligation to speak for them. You have an extra obligation to defend them. But he kept telling us what? I'm not the president of the NAACP. Oh, really? We didn't know that. We thought you were the head of the NAACP. We didn't know that you were the president of the United States of America. Come on, don't insult us that way. So you want it both ways. You want to play, you want your cake and eat it too, so to speak. You want to be able to appeal to the internal dynamics of intra-racial understanding and communion among black people. And then when we expect you to then represent us then and go out and stand for us, you got all kind of excuses and asterisks. So when it came to, well, look, white folks should not be complaining about Barack Obama. He was a hell of a president, top 10, especially for those issues. For race, not so much. He was the Shaquille O'Neal of presidents, since you out in LA. Shaquille was one of the greatest of all time. Uh-huh. Don't act like he could shoot no free throws. Uh-huh. Don't act like if you were Shaquille O'Neal was great at one of the greatest free throw shooters of all time. Uh-huh. Stop lying. No, he ain't. Uh-huh. So Obama, great on race. No, he wasn't. Right. So let's be real about that. Yeah, it was difficult. Yeah, it was in a complicated situation, but that's what presidents do. That's what I do. So you got to be able to respond and pony up with the political capital when it's time to do so. And black people gave them a break. What trips me about some black people, they look out here and look at all these white folks supporting Trump no matter what. Regardless, or listen how the brothers say, irregardless of what that dude doing, they support him. Don't tell me y'all weren't the same with your forever president. You were doing the same thing, no matter what OBZ said. Oh, yes, my God. Now, let's be real. Obama's a far better man than Donald Trump, by far. And I wish he could have had a third term. That's just how good he was. But at the same time, let's not pretend he didn't do some jacked up stuff and some stuff that we didn't hold him fully accountable for.
Why is the term reparations so taboo in politicians in the political circle?
Well, because it would call them to see how they jack black people up. Reparations mean you done something for which you have to repair. You have to give, an acknowledgement of the historical legacy of inequity that you produced and promoted. And as a result of that, now you got to own up to how you jacked it up.
Sure.
So when you talk about reparations for, say, Japanese brothers and sisters who were interned in, World War II camps, that means you jacked them up. You put them in the camps. Under FDR. Japanese brothers and sisters were put into concentration camps, essentially. So when it comes to black folk, then they'd have to admit, oh, yeah, we did mess up. And we did. And it ain't just about social justice recognition. It's about capital. It's about economic flow. And so to acknowledge that is to acknowledge the systemic inequities upon which this country rests, and to acknowledge that the meritocracy is not the way goods have been distributed.
Right.
That would mean that, you deserved it, and therefore you got the hookup because you deserved it, as opposed to you white and you got the hookup. They are just now including the Negro leagues of a certain time in the record books of major leagues. That's going to change some records, homie. Because, you putting the black boys in and the black men in from the Negro leagues when they were hitting and throwing, that's going to change some of the records of the major leagues. So Babe Ruth didn't hit 713 home runs against the best ball players. He hit them against the best white ball players. Now, when you have recognition of affirmative action or of reparation, it is an implication, directly, an indictment of the racial inequality and the white privilege that has prevented people from having access to goods and services that they should have had access to.
And Ice Cube, what do you think of his plan? And was it right or wrong to go to President Trump knowing that a campaign election was on the horizon?
I mean, one can have a quibble with Ice Cube if one wants, in terms of having strategy for the time in which it was being put forward. But I think his plan was really quite well thought out. He got, Derek Hamilton, a leading young economist, to work with him. He had a thoughtful plan. So to blame Ice Cube for the fact that the Democrats weren't willing to give him a shot. I mean, if you don't want Ice Cube going to Trump, then you take him in. If you don't want Ice Cube joining NWA, then take him in, another group, the lynch mob. So if you don't want him going to the Clippers, put him on the Lakers.
Right. So
the thing is, that I think people, joined Ice Cube to 50 Cent and to Lil Wayne, and that wasn't true. They're all rappers, but there was a huge difference between a well thought out plan that Ice Cube had mapped out. Now, the thing I want to hear now is more of that plan. Where is it now? Not just during election time, but where is it now so we can implement it? Talk about the necessity of joining with other political figures to make sure that those ideas are implemented. So to jam Ice Cube up without understanding what he was up against, what he was trying to do, and the timing may have been unfortunate. You can hold him accountable for that, but not the idea that he loves black people. He's got a plan that he thinks can work, and whoever is willing to listen, he's willing to talk to.
What's our plan for 2024?
I mean, 2024.
Yes.
Let's try to be alive. Number one. Ha, 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 ha. Staying alive. We got to have a Bee Gees agenda.
Okay.
But we got to have a plan for 2021.
Right.
Before we have a plan for 2024. You know, it's not just presidential ballots. It's down ballots. It's what it's voting for governor. Because if we had a different governor, maybe the governor would have chosen a different person. Now, Gavin Newsom is a good dude, but we got to give him some fire and some heat and throw him a fastball up on that plate and say, brother, don't be trying to come out here tripping on us. Right. So you got to vote for who the prosecutor is, because when these cops kill black people, it ain't the president. It ain't the governor alone. It's the prosecutor who determines whether or not that cop will be held to account. We
Right.
just had another black man shot in Columbus, Ohio, and the friggin' cops turned off their body cameras or didn't have them on, and then only turned them on afterward. But it caught 60 seconds before. When you turn it on, it captures the 60 seconds before you turned it on. And so now it suggests that they were on some okie doke. So you got to vote down ballot, local elections, state legislatures, prosecutors, attorneys general. Look at what happened with Breonna Taylor. A black attorney general is the one that really denied her justice because he refused to hold the police people to account who shot that black young lady to death. So it makes a difference. It ain't just the president. So our plan's got to be for 2021. How do we vote down ballot? How do we vote on local scenes? What do we do even with the Georgia election where two Democrats are running? And if they win, John Ossoff and Reverend Raphael Warnock, if they win, then the Democrats got the Senate. They will have the House, they'll have the Senate, and they'll have the presidency. Now, we had that with Barack Obama, but you had some blue dog Democrats who weren't going to be loyal, who were blocking him when he was trying to do what he was doing.
Right.
So if we capture all three houses, I mean, all three branches, right? The Congress, the Senate, and the presidency, then we're going to have to work against the Supreme Court because Donald Trump ain't no fool. He done put somebody in office. He done put somebody on the bench, Amy Coney Barrett, three of them. Is it Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett? They going to help shift that court to the right wing, and that's going to last another 30, 40 years.
It will.
That's playing chess, not checkers. That's what we got to learn to do as well.
Yeah, you mentioned defund the police, Breonna Taylor. Obviously, George Floyd may have sparked it. You saw the NBA go up in the uprising. Working backwards, what are you satisfied with what happened in the NBA? And two, how do we defund the police or make something that resembles a defunding of the police that's an asset to black people in America?
Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, I was very proud of LeBron. That's why I dedicate the book to LeBron James, Los Angeles Lakers. Give y'all some love out there. Because he's such an extraordinary figure. And the basketball players stepped up. The WNBA stepped up better than anybody.
Maya Moore was amazing, wasn't she?
I mean, come on, Maya, And then she got married.
Married the man.
I mean, my God, what you want? You got an all-time great. And she's brilliant. And she's committed. And she's fine. And she your wife. What, bruh? You won the lottery like a mug, man. What's up with you? So the thing is that the WNBA across the board, they wore the Jacob Blake shirts after he got shot with the 5 gunshots in the front of their chest. They spoke out against Kelly Loeffler, who's running for the Senate against, she's the appointed senator to fulfill the spot of retiring senator that Brian Kemp appointed. And, her husband is the head of the New York Stock Exchange. And she did some shenanigans behind the scene when they heard about what was going down with coronavirus and stocks and stuff. So corruption, man. And the reality is that her team, she also owns the Atlanta ball team.
Atlanta. And
they said, oh, we for your opponent. We for Raphael Warnock. We ain't even for you. That's how the ladies are. They cold-blooded. They right with it like, I don't care. So I think what they did is extraordinary. What the ball players did is extraordinary. Don't leave. Don't leave the bubble when you got mad and upset and wanted to protest after not only George Floyd, but after Jacob Blake. No, stay. So every day when they're interviewing you, you got something to say. You can amplify your voice. You can echo your sentiment. You can raise your, vision of truth. And I think that's extremely important. So I think, and what's the second part you asked me about?
Defunding the police. Like,
now, here's the thing.
Yes.
So obviously, when Obama weighed in by saying, look, if you find a different phrase, that phrase, some people thought cost a lot of elections. First of all, I want to see the proof. Where's the proof? You just saying that. Where's the empirical verification? Where's the polling? Where's the litmus test? Where's the, interview of people who said, that defund the police was really a problematic term? You can't just say that. I mean, make an argument. Now, you might not have empirical verification in terms of, the kind of hard numbers that you can crunch, but at least give us a theory that is compelling. And the thing is that the reason these people are talking about defunding the police because of what just happened in Columbus, Ohio. They keep killing black people. And where's the reform? Let's be honest. We've tried reform before. We've tried, let's reform the police. Let's make sure that we have oversight in the community. How about community policing? How about police who have to live in the community that they police? Sure. We done tried all that. Tell you why it don't work. Because these police unions are out of control. They have such power that even when there's an attempt to reform police departments, they are resistive to that and therefore successfully thwarted. On the other hand, I ain't heard us really try defunding the police. Now, that might sound crazy to some people. They think, oh, my God, even black people. Hey, because black people call the police more than anybody. Let's just be real. So black people like, well, what are we going to do then if we can't call the darn police? Right. So we have to get people into a different mindset. And so defund the police merely means let's take money like they did in Los Angeles, $150 million, and let's move that to a different, department. Public safety is not the exclusive preserve of cops, of police people. There are other people who do public safety. You can have your rent-a-cop for that matter.
Good point.
And most of the time, cops ain't doing the heavy lifting and the stuff that's violent. They trying to pull a kid from, being stuck somewhere in a house or some cats up in the tree, bro. That's most of the time they're doing innocuous kind of stuff. The problem is, even when it's innocuous with black people, we end up dead. A traffic stop, dead. Left turn signal doesn't work with Walter Scott down in South Carolina.
Shot 7 times.
Yeah. Come on, bro. In the back. Philando Castile.
That hurt me. Yeah.
Traffic stop. Girlfriend right there.
The daughter in the back.
Her daughter in the back. She's broadcasting it on live, Facebook Live. What? I mean, so we've tried all of this reform, but the reform is being thwarted by police departments and it ain't working. So let's just say, even if you want to tell, and the left has to stop being thin-skinned. Okay, you got to have commercials too. You got to have marketing too. You got to figure out the way to say it that ain't going to just run people away and turn them off as well, right? You are under that obligation as well. But the philosophical commitment to defunding is important because defunding don't mean what people think it means. It simply means let's find better alternatives to direct funding for public safety that will not be gobbled up by police departments or their unions that will thwart the possibility of police reform. And beyond that, that we will not send out cops when somebody's having a psychotic episode. Can we send out some, people who are trained in mental health, abuse, and illness who can address a person who's wilding out? Now, yeah, you might need to send a cop as well if they have, if they're armed and so on. And that's the last measure, but not the first one. Not like Mr. Wallace in Philadelphia not two or 3 weeks ago, where they gunned him down. The family said, we didn't even want the cops coming because we knew it was going to end up like this. So defunding the police is a far more sophisticated attempt to hold police departments accountable, to rejigger them, to move funds from one arena to another, and I think to decentralize the authority of policing so that public safety is broader than cops who repeatedly hurt, harm, and often kill Black people.
Mm. Should we be Republicans, Democrats, or Black people in voting?
I mean, we should always have our interests at heart. I mean, we should be Black people first, of course. But what that mean? You know, that means that we want to do and vote for people who are going to hook up Black people. Now, I get the frustration of Black people with the Democrats because they've taken us for granted.
Yes.
But if Democrats have taken us for granted, what have Republicans done? They've taken us for a ride, you know? And there would be a lot more Black Republicans in this country, given the fact that, in disagreement with me, I ain't part of this as a Black person. The vast majority of Black people are culturally conservative.
Yes.
And if you darn had some politics that would jibe with their 10 commandments of religion, they just can't get down with you politically because you believe in killing Negroes. And they can't get down with that. But if you had a program where you were like, come on, Black people, join the crowd. Come along with us. Jiminy Cricket, we're amazing. And we're going to talk about that police brutality. And we want to make sure that your kids have an equal access to education to wipe away the disparities. It'd be a lot of Black Republicans up in here. There was already an uptick from 13% to 18% among Black men. Still can't, figure that one out. Partly it was about, my man is John Wayne. He's got swag, right? They were thinking like, man, this dude just be going off on people, Donald Trump. He just be telling it like he believes it. He tells it like he sees it. He don't care. Get out my car. Get out my core. So they don't care. They don't care. Donald Trump doesn't care. He doesn't care who hears what he has to say. And that appeals to some Black people. Plus, I think some Black men think, that they are attracted to this bravado, this assertion of manhood. The same dudes that want to be gangster rappers and studio gangsters want to be the president of the United States of America, talking that smack. So there may be some kind of elective affinity between those who are attracted to a certain narrow conception of masculinity, in this case of toxic masculinity, and an uptick in a small way among Black women as well. But the vast majority of Black people didn't vote that way because they understand that as presently constituted, they can't vote no darn Republican field that has had a field day on, saying nasty and hurtful things to Black people.
What 2024 is coming, right? Mm-hmm. And what's the Trump message for Black people? Say if Michael Eric Dyson could get on the top of a perch, and what message would you tell Black people in 2021 to lead into 2024 would be the correct?
I would say, register to vote. Look at the difference voting makes. 74 million people voted for Donald Trump, which is astonishing. Would have been a record, except 80 million voted for Joe Biden. It makes a difference, people. All these people out here, oh, no, man, I ain't voting. It don't make no difference, homie. Whatever it is, it is. No, homie, it makes a difference. And one set of voters put in office a man who has the potential to heal the nation because he won't be a source of dubious, unscientific, anti-rational rantings. It won't be a toddlerocracy, the rule, reign, and tyranny of a 2-year-old mentality when it comes to government. But I would say to Black people going into 2021 and then going into the new year and then going into the new decade, and certainly for 2024, understand what's at stake.
Sure.
Understand how to vote. I mean, look at Jim Clyburn out of South Carolina. He saved, the election of Joe Biden just by saying, that's my man. So let's learn to leverage our political capital. Let's learn to leverage our political influence. And let's make certain that we push for those progressive ideas that will make a big difference in our existence. The Green New Deal, police reform, disparities in education, and the economic inequality that continues to hurt and harm Black America.
COVID and vaccines. What's your take?
I mean, heck, if I ain't got no allergies to them, I'm taking them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, Black people. Now, I know we got the history of Tuskegee, and that's real. Mm-hmm. You know, Black people ain't afraid of science. We're afraid of scientists. We ain't afraid of medicine. We're afraid of doctors and what you have done to us. Now, here's the opposite. Tuskegee had a cure and didn't tell us. Hey, we got a resolution for syphilis. We ain't gonna tell y'all. We just want to see what it does when it's not treated. How inhumane! No implied consent, no consent granted through agency of those people who were unwitting victims of medical abuse and experimentation. That's the opposite on a vaccine, dog. The vaccine is they're trying to tell you what it is. They're trying to share with you the resolution to the problem, and they want to help Black people. And let's be honest, we need that vaccine more than anybody. We're dying disproportionately. Black and Latinx people, we are dying because we're on the front lines. We're dying because our bodies are more vulnerable because of diabetes and asthma, because of systemic inequity that denies us opportunities to exercise our right as citizens to go to a hospital. That should be a right, not a privilege. And so when you look at all of those factors, we need to be involved in those trials and in the reception of that vaccine more than anybody else.
People in the chat are saying we don't need to take them because some may say that it took them 9 months to create a vaccine and we still have herpes, AIDS, and HIV, et cetera, cancer, et cetera, et cetera. How do you how do you advocate Black people take that vaccine when the truths of the past and the conspiracies of today combined and all that?
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's why I started with the truth of the past.
Yes.
And I talked about, making a distinction. Again, stop being silly.
Sure.
The Tuskegee experiment, Henrietta Lacks, where they were taking all of her DNA and her organs, her cells, and making millions upon millions of dollars off of that, harvesting her body and DNA and cells for the benefit of the economic benefit of certain institutions. We got to call that out. But don't be conflating that. Don't be jamming that up with, man, better watch out. They're trying to get Negroes a vaccine to kill them. Negroes already dying. What's more extreme than we're dying in disproportionate numbers? So yes, let's take it scientifically. If you have an allergic reaction, lay back. If you go into anaphylactic shock on other stuff, lay back.
Sure.
Otherwise, if it proves that you don't have an allergic reaction, what's the harm in taking it? Right. So again, let's use don't be like Trump, anti-science, irrational, and not understanding what's at stake here. And we can name all those other diseases. A couple of them have been solved or at least put at bay. At least people can stay alive with them. Look, the COVID has a deleterious, pernicious, and often lethal consequence. So please use your common sense. Don't allow conspiracy theory, anti-scientific discourse to really undercut your ability to survive and that of the Black community at large.
Yeah, we got a couple questions from the chat. They actually super chat in to ask the guest questions.
Okay.
And so one asked about John McWhorter's and your next debate, and when is that coming? It's long gone. When is that coming again? And he said it was a great debate. When is that going to happen again? And two, King McCulu asked about why did you allocate for Joe Biden when he promised Black people zero tangibles in 2020?
Okay. So first, when we think about the fact that, debates are critical to the culture, John McWhorter and I had a debate, I don't know, maybe the last one, a couple, 3 weeks ago. I think they just played it. Mm-hmm. I ain't scared of nobody. Whenever, stand up, let's do it. That's what I do. I'm from the west side of Detroit. You holler, holla at me. I ain't scared. I went to Canada and on his own ground debated Jordan Peterson. Dude, I'm not scared. So what I do? It's what I do. So I don't mind debating John McWhorter. He's a good man. I disagree with him vehemently, especially when he's talking about my girl, Nicole Hannah-Jones, from the New York Times in the 1619 Project. I think what she has done is extraordinary, and it needs to be supported. In terms of Joe Biden, I mean, when he promised Negroes a lot. He promised us more than Barack Obama.
Wow.
So he got more people in his cabinet than Barack Obama of color, and certainly diversity. So Negroes kill me. I mean, I ain't heard keep the same energy you kept for Obama, for the white boy. But you ain't, because you let the black man get a pass. And now you asking me what Joe Biden has promised. He got a lot of stuff. Let me tell you what he did that Obama didn't do. He chose a black woman to run with him, dog. And Obama never put a black woman on the Supreme Court. Had 3 opportunities. Now, the caller may say, I ain't no Obama fan, dog, so I don't know why you're telling me that. All right, let me argue against myself then. I'll defend you, sir. The thing is, I advocated for him because given the options that were available, he was the best by far. And see, that's the only thing you get a chance to choose from, what's available. Like every year, hey, man, I want Kobe in. But Kobe ain't playing this year. It's LeBron versus Kawhi, right? And that ain't even in the finals, because that'd be conference final because they both in LA. So I'm saying, you know, you don't get a chance to choose in the Super Bowl. I wanted to be Patrick Mahomes versus, you know,
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, exactly. You know, but guess what? That ain't how it's gonna go down. It's whoever is in the finals in the final. So Joe Biden was running against who he's running against, and I thought that he offered us the best opportunity. As Chuck D said, the reason a lot of black folk voted for Joe Biden because they knew white folk were going to vote for Joe Biden. So at least when they vote for the person that the white folk going to vote for, they can have some leverage. And I didn't hear Joe Biden go, hey, white people, you hooked me up. Now I'm going to take care of you. But he did say that to black people. So I would ask the questioner to just think about that. What other president has explicitly articulated his debt owed to black people? Now, I'm with you. Let's see what he's going to do with it. But so far, so good.
Yeah, another question came in. Were you on that conference call? I know we just went over it, but were you on that conference call and they would love a debate with you and Jason Whitlock?
Come on, man. Give me something hard to do. Me and Jason Whitlock?
He was on the show last week, too. I had Jason on last week.
I mean, his wit is locked.
Uh-huh.
Come on. I mean, look, go look up hip hop on, I think it was on Google about 10, 11 years ago over in London. Hip hop versus. And I was speaking in defense of hip hop, and he was on a team that was dogging hip hop. See who won. Mofo asked me about Jason Whitlock. Nope. So I'm just having a little fun. So the thing is, I would love to debate Jason Whitlock anytime, because I think he is a person who justifies and legitimates the white supremacist logic against black being. I think a black mouth is moving, but white supremacist ideals are being articulated down his tongue. I think that he says some of the most self-hating, obnoxious anti-black sentiments that have no basis in reality, that have no empirical verification, that have no legitimate standing, and that he plays to the white galley in order to procure support. But black people who are on the real side know that it is thin and that it is insubstantial. Other than that, he's a good dude.
He's a good dude.
Well, what's the other thing?
I guess y'all not have a dinner together. Hey, so
I ain't mad. We can break bread, but I'm gonna come at you, bro. Come on.
Right. He said something last week, since we're on the topic of Jason Whitlock. He says a black leader, and history has suggested this, from Fred Hampton Some may say Tupac was a leader, you know, depending on your culture, that being a black leader requires the ultimate sacrifice, and the ultimate sacrifice is death. That's part one. Part two is how far, knowing what you know about Malcolm X too, feel free to add this in, how far can celebrities and athletes take us on this journey, i.e. LeBron being a leader?
Did he say that in order to be a black leader, you got to die? Is that
what you ain't got to die? No, I'm paraphrasing what he says, but he says that's the ultimate sacrifice. Like,
of course, it's the ultimate sacrifice, but it ain't the necessary sacrifice.
Okay, gotcha.
It's a logical, you know, it's a logical flaw there. To suggest that the best black leaders among them have Martin Luther King Jr., the greatest ever. So he died, he got killed. Malcolm got killed, but there was two different circumstances in terms of how they got killed. White supremacy killed one. Within black culture itself, killed another. Medgar Evers died.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Fannie Lou Hamer didn't. Ida B. Wells didn't. W.B. Du Bois didn't. Harriet Tubman didn't. Sojourner Truth didn't. So you can't make a blanket statement. We appreciate the fact that the ultimate sacrifice was made by some of our leaders. That's why Dr. King is the greatest of all time. He's the GOAT. Ain't nobody even close, right? That's how cold he is. But yeah, I mean, I know Jason Whitlock got a bead on LeBron's behind. Let me see. LeBron James, I Promise School for vulnerable and at-risk kids. LeBron James starting voting rights camps and other organized protests against voter suppression so that people can vote. LeBron James getting people to open arenas to be able to have a greater number of black people who can vote. LeBron James, who started at the bottom, now he's here. LeBron James, who continues to voice his support and advocacy for victims of police brutality. LeBron James, who said that some of these police people act as if they're going out that day to hurt and harm a black person. Versus Jason Whitlock, who just dogs Negroes. It ain't even close. Like, bruh, you criticizing LeBron James is a tsetse fly going at an elephant. It just ain't working. And I just think that, again, the insubstantial character of the criticisms that Mr. Whitlock has, what are they based in? What are they rooted in? What is the power of those arguments? Again, it's anti-blackness in black skin. I think that a guy like a Jason Whitlock is far more deleterious and unproductive when it comes to our race than legitimate critics who can be critical of anybody, but who are not destructive and self-hating in their manifestation. I just happen to think Jason Whitlock is. And so LeBron James is doing a hell of a job as a leader. You know, Tupac said, look, I might not change the world, but I bet I'll spark the brain that will. Everybody has a role. Everybody has a function. Everybody can't be, on the podcast, on the radio show, on the live taking questions. Some people got to be asking the questions. Some people got to be the engineers. Some people got to be the camera people. You got to play your role and play your position. And I think that LeBron James is an extraordinary leader. And look, after he leaves basketball, even if he leaves at 45, he's still a young man.
Right.
He gonna play with Bronny a couple years.
Imagine.
Might get a ring somewhere, and then he will leave one arena where he's old, basketball, step into corporate world. Hey, he's a baby. He's not even 45 years old. So he will have a career after that. That's how the white boys do it.
Right.
Let me play basketball or football, then become a senator. Let me become housing executive. Let me become a biz entrepreneur and so on. So LeBron James is a genius and one of the greatest figures we've ever produced and a credible, certifiable leader.
Speak on Louis Farrakhan and the NOI. What's your take on that?
I mean, Minister Farrakhan is an extraordinary leader. He makes comments with which I disagree in some instances about gay and lesbian people. We've had battles about that. Conspiratorial thinking vis-a-vis Jewish brothers and sisters. On the other hand, he's made some very prophetic and powerfully insightful arguments about white supremacy that have to be taken seriously. So I don't agree with this notion that the vaccine is, being used to kill black people. I think that's irresponsible, and I think it's unfortunate. And I think Minister Farrakhan is one of the greatest, thinkers and figures within our culture. And with that influence he has, I wish that it could be deployed differently. Skepticism about science, I get it. Right? I think it's extremely important to be skeptical. Right. As Minister Farrakhan talks about it. I just think that in light of the evidence, it doesn't suggest that in this case and in this instance that we have to withhold our consent in terms of getting the vaccines. But if you talk to him one-on-one, look, Minister Farrakhan invited me to his home. I spoke to him for 3 hours, one-on-one. So I don't want nobody out there listening trying to go off on me, because I had a one-to-one meeting with him. He invited me to his home. And for 3 hours, we broke bread and talked about a great range of subjects, some of which we agreed on and some of which we didn't agree on. And he said, my brother, can one be corrected by one's brother if there is no conversation? Amen. So at that level, we got to have open dialogue with whoever in order to share our disagreements, our agreements, our appreciation. But if you look at the funeral of Aretha Franklin and the funeral of John Conyers, there was only one person that recognized him at both of those funerals. And I was a speaker at both. Need I say more?
Right. My co-host is on. He closes the show with me. And DB.
Yes, sir. How you doing, young sir?
How you feeling, man?
Like $1,000,000, man. The Lakers got their championship rings yesterday. So
I mean, those are crazy. The joint, the top pulls off, and you got Kobe number 8 and Kobe number 24. I'm trying to can you give me a ring, man? Can you give me a ring? Can you give me a ring, bro? I need even a replica. A replica probably costs $20,000. I just need a replica of the darn ring. Can I get one of them?
Yeah, tell me about it. I felt so good, man. And it's funny as I always think about the public figures that are big Laker fans and Kobe fans. And I know you were a big Kobe fan. So I actually thought about you, yesterday when we were going through our ring ceremony.
There's no doubt about it, sir. And look, I mean, I've been a Lakers fan since I was a kid in Detroit, Michigan. And coming up, I ain't know Johnny come lately, when they had Gail Goodrich, Jerry West, my man, Wilt Chamberlain, Happy Hairston. I mean, man, bruh, they had to whip. So, and of course I was in Detroit. We'll say it again.
I said Elgin Baylor.
Elgin, one of the greatest of all time. So, I've been supporting the Lakers for a long time, bruh. And then, of course, when Magic and my generation came along and supported, I'm from Detroit, I'm always going to be a Pistons fan too. But I was a Lakers diehard, bruh. And when Kobe came along, that's just all love between me and him as well.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that. So I want to talk to you about some of your work right now. So what do you consider your best work? When you were writing and when you were thinking about it, going through the process, where you felt the most confident, like this is a great piece of work?
Wow. Well, you would like to tell yourself all of them, or at least the latest one, but you do some better than the others. This latest book, though, long time coming, Reckoning with Race in America, I put my heart and soul in that book, man. There's a lot of quality work in that book. There's a lot of insight. My book's on King, high quality works. My book on Tupac, same thing. The book on loving Black women, same thing. Don't fool around here. I might end up naming all 23 of them. So the thing is, I try to give as best I can when I'm writing. But those books, among many others, would certainly rise to the top of the list for me. Tears We Cannot Stop, A Sermon to White America. Yeah. The one I did on Jigga, Jay-Z, the collected work of essays on Nas. So, so I've had Jay, Nas, and Tupac. I mean, 3 of the greatest rhyme spitters ever I've had work on, and I think it's quality work, my man.
24.
Yeah, I would agree.
24 book 24 got to be dedicated to Kobe. There you go.
I'm trying to think about, Kobe, LeBron, and Jordan. That kind of triumvirate. I'm trying to deal with them.
Yeah, that would be great. Fred just took the words out of my mouth. 24 would be a great dedication, Kobe. But I was also thinking, 25 could be whatever, but 26, because it's got the 6 on the back of it, can be for Nipsey.
No doubt. I mean, but I had a long plane ride with Nipsey, man.
Tell us about that.
Oh man, we had a hell of a. He got on the plane, first class. We going to New York from LA.
Wow.
And he gets in. I'm sitting on the aisle. He's sitting on the inside, and he said, "Are you Michael Eric Dyson?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I'm a fan of your work. I read your books." So I said, "Are you Nipsey Hussle?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "I'm a fan of your work and I listen to your stuff." I pull out my CD. I'm at my iPod on my phone, and there it was. Last time that I checked.
That 5 chains on my neck.
Come on, bruh. I'm right there. And he was like, "Whoa." I said, "Bruh." And we had a hell of a conversation about psychology, about human worth, about value, about race, about, artistic measure, about aesthetics, about economic inequality, about wealth, the whole waterfront, man. That dude right there was a special human being. So rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle.
Absolutely. Yeah. So is it safe to say that you would possibly be doing some work in a book on Nipsey?
Yeah, in my Jay-Z book, I wrote quite a segment in a section on Nipsey. I got Nipsey and LeBron in there with Jay, but I got a whole section on Nipsey. Go check that out, man. I definitely do in that book. Now, I probably want to expand it. I hear that there's a book coming on Nipsey soon, and I definitely want to defer to anybody who's doing that kind of extensive work. But I got a whole section on Nipsey in my Jay-Z book. Man, I wish y'all would check that out.
I think that 5, man, can you drop a video on that 5-hour conversation?
I know.
Please.
He talked about it too on Ebro show, Old Man Ebro.
Okay.
He said, "Yo, I had a plane ride with Michael Eric Dyson," and then what's my man, the white fella? I can't think his name. He goes Rosenberg. He says that must have been a hell of a long time. Dyson kept. He said, "Oh no." He said, "I was doing a lot of the talking." See, I'm saying, like, bruh, and he was giving as good as he was getting.
Wow.
And had a hell of a conversation. So he talked about it a little bit. I talked about it a little bit. Then when I had a little show I was doing, he came on and talked about it. Love for that brother, man. An extraordinary human being.
Wow. Beautiful.
Incredible. I want to run a couple of names by you, and if you can, tell us your relationship, if any, with these people. Dr. Umar Johnson.
Yeah, he comes at me a lot, man. I never met the dude. Never really heard that much about him. Trying to look for some of his books, couldn't find them.
Understood.
But something, and I don't want to look. I'm sure he's doing great work. I don't disparage him. I just don't know why he feels the need to come after me. You ain't never built with me. You never talked to me. You never engaged me. You're talking about me. You don't know anything about me. So I just don't get it, man. I don't get it. I have nothing but love and appreciation for the great works that he can do out there to help our community in whatever sphere. I ain't mad at you, but you ain't got to come at me on some, off the wall basis. And you ain't never reached out to me. We never even built. We're in the same era, same time. If you want to holler at me, you could get at me. So I just don't understand that. I wish him nothing but, success and doing the righteous thing. But I'm just saying, why my name in your mouth and you so negative and you never reached out to me and kicked it with me or talked about me? It doesn't mean you have to talk to me in order to be critical of me. But I'm saying, bruh, make it based upon some substantive engagement with some real substantive ideas as opposed to stylistic differences, or if you got ideological, intellectual, political differences, then speak those up, speak on those. But I just don't understand the venom and the bitterness, man. I never met that dude one day.
Yeah, well, I think the ancestors are going to bring some energy, man, and put y'all together and continue doing work for our community. What about Dr. Claude Anderson?
I respect him and admire some of the work that he does, but I've never met him as well.
Really?
But no, never met Dr. Anderson, but I know he does stuff with his economics, and he and Boyce Watkins do what they do, and he supports him, and I'm glad for that. Again, I support anybody doing something positive, making a contribution. Umar Johnson too. But I don't have a necessity to kind of pot shot and assassinate somebody's character that I don't really know. And I wish them well, and anything that can help Black people, uplift us, edify us, and put us on strong ground is a beautiful thing to me.
Right. Okay. What about, and I know this is your brother, at least he used to be, Dr. Cornel West.
Yeah. I think we did a Zoom together about 3 months ago, talking about Black masculinity and the like. And so, we've had our differences as well. And again, and it's a shame to me, again, when people come at me, say things, I'm like, bruh, you know my number. I don't know why you assassinated my character. You could talk to me, call me up. Now, it doesn't mean every time you have to do that, because if you think I've made an egregious statement, an offense in public, you got to do it in public. And I get that. I think at this point, we were able to have a conversation that many people felt was a good thing. Good. And I think it was a good thing. And I hope we continue on that path.
Got it. And one of the brothers in the chat asked, Tariq Nasheed.
Never met him as well. I know he's been critical of me as well. That's fine. Again, I'm saying, like, bruh, read my books. Look at what I'm doing.
Right.
Understand what I'm saying. I'm giving you something to argue with. I'm not, and I'm not saying I know he's got films and some stuff. I'm talking about substantive, critical work that's been researched, that's been done over space and time, that wrestles with ideas, that comes to grips with these important and powerful expressions of culture. Again, I wish him well. I support anybody who's supporting Black folk. We come from out of different bags, from different perspectives and the like. And I wish him well. But again, I'm in my part of the, on my plot of ground, on my part of the earth, trying to do the best I can do with what I got. And I love everybody and support them. I just say, grant me the opportunity to do what I do.
Understood. And the last one, it's not necessarily on the same track as you guys, but Neil deGrasse Tyson. Oh,
yeah. I had Neil deGrasse Tyson on my radio show once back in the day, and people thought we were the same Negro for so long. They come up to me and, I really like the stuff you do with the universe. I was like, well, Jiminy Cricket, that's amazing. Now, I don't know about no physics. Right. He's a great astrophysicist. We were born the same year, maybe 3 months, maybe not even that far apart. So born in 58, both of us. Wow. Yellow Negroes, Tyson and Dyson. And he's a brilliant, gifted thinker, writer. He got books. He putting them on the New York Times bestseller list. He's writing about substantive issues. He's talking about things of import. And I have mad respect for what he's doing.
What's your take on, we got to get him out of here. What's your take on, I got two more questions, then we'll get on Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving's journey. I saw him burning sage. I know you're best friends with Shannon Sharp. He basically said, I hate to say it, shut up and dribble kind of connotation. But Kyrie Irving is on this journey. And
I love Kyrie, man. Do your thing. Do your thing. Be on your journey. Be different. They don't let Negroes be different. They don't let Black people be different. They don't let Black people have their own individuated journey. Can't be weird, unorthodox. Sure. I might disagree with him about the earth being flat and all that stuff and whatever, but I love the fact that he's thinking. I love the fact that he's open-minded enough to try to challenge orthodoxy. I love he's an extremely bright guy. And don't tell me he ain't a basketball genius. You know, him and KD last night, they're going to be a problem, bro. You got Karis LeVert doing his thing too.
Great role players.
Oh my God. I mean, Karis is dropping. Look, Karis was a star before they came on.
Yeah.
So they're going to be a problem, man. But I love Kyrie Irving, man. I love him. I love his ball handling skills. I love his shooting ability. He's saying now I'm going to stop the hero ball and I'm going to try to be part of a bigger culture of support around athleticism. Mm-hmm. So as far as his individual ideas, I say rep right on, do what you got to do, work your way to your own conclusions about life, mm-hmm. and embrace whatever ideas and paths you need to do in order to become the fullest, best human being that you are capable of being.
Man, we truly appreciate you coming on here, man. Please come back. And the producer of the show, Patty Dean, is a big fan of yours. She was like, man, if I can have anything, can he freestyle? Can he put my name in a freestyle on his way out?
You know that's so mean. I wish I was lean, but I got a scheme. Every time I turn around, I have a dream. I'm not Martin King, but I'm the guy who puts people on thrones. I look at you and I don't throw you bones. I look at you, I ain't got no stones. I look at you, maybe I'm not foaming at the mouth. I don't have a mouse. I don't go into holes. I stand tall like a lion in the jungle. Look at these cats. They don't want to rumble. Not with me. I shook up the world.
We appreciate you. Deacon 305 said he's been a fan of yours since he called you on C-SPAN, man. We appreciate you coming in, man. And I'm gonna try and bother you maybe once or twice a year, man.
No bother at all. Miss Dean, love for you. DB, what up? Thank y'all so kindly. It's all love.
Man, appreciate you coming in this evening, man. What an honor. What an honor, brother. Thank you.
Bless you.
We cherish your work over here, man. Thank you.
Thank y'all so kindly. Y'all take good care now.
All the time. Thank you, brother.
All right, peace.
Appreciate you. Yeah, that was tons of fun. Fun, wasn't it, DB?
Man, I had like 50 more questions.
Well, he's only here for an hour, man. He's only here for an hour.
No, I know.
Okay.
It's just, but that's good though. You know, that means when we get him back in here, because I know there was some questions. I know Blue Blood and you know Kurt Anderson and some of the other brothers ended up coming in a little later and had some questions too, along with mine. And man, you know, one thing I can say, Fred, you are a phenomenal journalist. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Because you asked the questions that I was asking that I already planned to ask.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's kind of like a stroke to myself. But
the questions are based off our show, though. The questions is based off of Reggie Owens, Deacon 305, Terrence Bailey, and the list goes on and on. Big Dog. It ain't like I'm asking the questions like selfishly. You understand what I'm saying? I'm asking because I hear what you guys are saying. I hear what we're discussing. So I kind of tailor our questions about us. You know, it ain't like I'm being because I wanted to talk about Malcolm X. I could talk to that. I could talk about him for 2 hours about Malcolm X, and I stayed away from it because I could just read the books. You know what I mean? So that's why. So, but yeah, man. So that's what it is, man. And it was fun.
Yeah, I think we have to get him back on here sometime. I don't know, before the summertime again.
Yeah, for sure. And True Benjamin, I asked that question maybe at the 30-minute mark. He pretty much put it in with no tangibles and all that stuff. So feel free to check out that at like the 30-minute mark. And I saw Blue Blood come in, and that's it. Because what I'm trying to do is trying to clump y'all questions together. So when y'all beam in or super chat in, I write down the question so I can just do a whole segment on y'all questions. You know what I mean? So it'll have the show flow much smoother. You know, I've never been a Nets fan ever in my life because I'm a diehard Knicks fan. You know, but I'm rooting for Kyrie this year. I'm totally rooting for the Enigmas this year. Kyrie and you know, the 6'12" dude. What's his name? Oh man. The Kevin Durant.
I'm driving through a tunnel.
Kevin Durant.
Damn it. I just cut my damn arm.
Oh, love is the word. You cut your arm? Yeah.
Shit.
Bad?
I'm bleeding. It's purple and gold. No, but one of the things I was saying is, when these people come to the barbershop, we got a bunch of intellectuals here, and these people already know who he is, but this will kind of turn on a switch in their brain. It's just to look at some of the stuff that he's coming out with, reading his books, the podcast and stuff like that. And that'll raise more questions so that when he comes back, the second show will probably be even more fire.
Appreciate you, Taylor Bell.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, big homie. Welcome to the show. I can show the super chat because the super chats, I notice when I do the reviews, it hides them. It hides the guest. So I'm writing down the questions and stuff like that. And then they get distracted too. I realize when I put it up there, they get distracted. They start reading this shit. And so I try to write it down. So that's how we'll do that. And we'll come back and review this tonight. Patty Dean she got a oh man, he gave her a nickname. What's the name? PD? Who was that from I'm drawing a blank. Professor Griff gave her a nickname, and Michael Eric Dyson gave her a freestyle,
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and so we got another show tonight at 9 p.m. Let's get out of here, man. Let's get out of here.
Love is the word. Patty Dean, Mr. Vegas, James Johnson, Eddie B, Tone Brown, Joe Gagliardi, Money Man, Deacon 305, PGH Big Dog, the brother Dave Jack, Opulent LD, my plant-based brother. And I saw Damala, the plant-based pugilist in here, Reggie Owens, Taylor Bell, appreciate you, the Queen, Patty Dean, Jason G, the rest of the family, man. We'll see y'all back in here. Tank Obadiah TV. We'll see y'all back in here at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and midnight if you're on the East Coast. Peace and love. Play the song, Fred!
Yeah, we out of here. Yeah. We out of here. We out of here, baby. That's what Jay-Z said. We out of here, baby. Oh, man, we bringing it. That was a good show. Appreciate you, PPD. Appreciate you. Great show tonight. Hey. Song hit different when you're having a great show.
That's right.
I know we couldn't make it. Off beat, I still land on my feet, and nothing can shake me. 'Cause I know I took a hold of me. I never know. This is where I am destined to be. I'm not ready to give up. I believe in the miracle of life. Life's a play with no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games can play, can't take it personal.
'Cause the devil is a lie. Hey.
I'm telling you the truth. Hey. It's all in what you do. Hey, you gotta do. Hey.
Much expected, much is given. When I made the living, now I'm giving back to children. Never let the power come first before your happiness.
Yes.
You can be the best if you go the distance. Mix a little sweat with your persistence. You know that the best things are never instant. Just shine up, let them make it brilliant. Get up, open up your eyes now. It's the moment of truth. No backing down. We're bringing it to life.
For the children, it's a giving. You gotta give it. Be a blessing. Yeah.
Rob G. Film, where you at?
Personal statement. Run the game like I'm Mason.
Learn to develop patience, determined to be the greatest. Yeah, bobbing and weaving, they changing up like the seasons. Indigenous to the grind, so I do it for all my people. Jabbing in competition, back up against the rope. She fighting for recognition. I'm fighting just to promote equality where we lacking. While cancer slowing our road, I'm confident we'll make it. We focus on common
So
goals.
you gotta give back, give up.
Never give up, stand tall to fight another day. 2 toes, 2 feet, I stand on the ground. I'm gonna wrestle.
Last time, y'all. Hey. nights to play with no rehearsal. You come to your room. And you take it personal. Last time, y'all.
Cause the brother lives a lot. Hey.
I'm telling you the truth. Hey. It's all in what you do. Hey. Some things you gotta do. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, you know what I was thinking just now? Since Peoples Hernandez is over in the Bronx, this is about 8, 9 o'clock for him right now. So he's probably like, this is the perfect time, but he ain't in here tonight.
He'll be in here tonight. He'll be in here tonight. Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
All right, family. We see y'all. Love. I love you, bro.
All the time. Appreciate love you too. Thanks, y'all, man. I appreciate y'all tonight.